Okay, so I think today is the day, guys. Edward's new tank. So we've been talking about upgrading his enclosure for months and months and months and months and months. Today's the day. This is Edward's Christmas present. We're gonna do BIOACTIVE. So we have a lot of other stuff to buy, but this is a good start. Once I have this, it's like in my brain, I have to just buy everything else. So we'll probably get everything else within like a week and put this thing together. We are on the way to Petco. We're gonna buy some stuff for Edward's tank. We're gonna make the substrate. So we're gonna get some stuff like peat moss and I don't know, I have a little recipe that I'm gonna follow. So I'll take you along with me and we will build this substrate from scratch. Okay, I went to a random mile, so it wouldn't be awkward, but they basically have nothing we need. So we're gonna head to PetSmart again, 2 days in a row, and see if they have what we need. We have the base layer. It's not in yet, but it's gonna be here, I think, tomorrow. I'm like spinning in circles right now. So that is coming like tomorrow, the next day. That's just like the drainage layer. So we just need everything else. Okay, so we have the tank set up here. One thing we do have to do, since this is bioactive and we're gonna have a drainage layer that will have water in it all the time, just about maybe that thick, we're gonna have to cut that backing texture because it's made out of foam. And I'm worried that the foam is gonna leach something into the water, and then that will hurt the plants and stuff like that. So we're gonna cut the back just a few inches above the bottom so that standing water is just against glass and it's not gonna be against that foam at all. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the process of cutting this back thing a couple inches up. We have the drainage layer, which is right here. We actually got a lot more than I thought I was gonna get, but I guess that's good for future projects or whatever, but this thing is absolutely huge. We'll cut this bag just a corner off it and then pour it in there. I think we're gonna rinse these off a little bit with water first because obviously there's gonna be lots of like clay that's in there. So we are gonna do this. We're gonna cut the back and then we're gonna put the screen in, which is gonna go over those clay pebbles, these clay pebbles, and that will prevent the substrate from going into this. You just don't want the substrate sitting in standing water all the time. So that's why you have this drainage layer at the bottom. Okay, and since the backing has nothing to hold it up, we're just gonna put a few dabs of some super glue up in the top left and right hand corners, and just to have it hold up there. Obviously it doesn't need much because there's gonna be soil and stuff underneath it, so once everything's in, it won't need this anymore, but this will just be to get it set up. Okay, so I went ahead and cut a piece of the screen, as you can see right there. This is about 39 by 20 inches of screen. So this is going to go on top of those hydro balls you saw before that are down in there. And just to, again, be that separation between the soil and the drainage layer. So I just test fitted it here just to see how it was going to fit, and it fits pretty good. So we will go ahead and get those hydro balls in here, and then we'll put the screen back on top. And there we go. That is the drainage layer with the barrier on top of it. I think the last of the ingredients I need for the soil are coming tomorrow, so we will do that tomorrow. But this is definitely a good start. We have a nice little gap here, so even if the water is to the top of these clay balls, it still won't be touching that. So we're good. Everything looks to be in order. Everything has gone smooth so far, so I'm excited to see where it goes. Soil should be coming tomorrow, so stay tuned and we will fast forward to then. Okay, so the cocoa brick actually came in today. This is cocoa fiber. This will be part of our substrate. So we're gonna mix this with some other things. There's the cat rolling around at my feet right now. I'm gonna put about half of this into this bucket, and I'm gonna hydrate it because it's really hard. It needs to be hydrated, and it'll expand some, so it'll be a lot bigger than this once it's done. We're gonna do half for now. We may end up using all of it, but we'll do half at least for the start. And this is from Josh's Frogs, which is a very reputable place to buy things for bioactive setups and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so our stuff right here has been soaking in water and it is just moist now. It absorbed so much water. This thing was like, could fit in the very bottom with room on both sides, and then you put water in it and it's like up to here. So we may not use all of that, but we'll see. We got another ingredient here. This is peat moss. So we're going to put some peat moss in there as well. Obviously, this is much more fine. You can see it's sphagnum peat moss. I'm going to put some real sphagnum moss in there too that's a little bigger, holds more water and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and mix some of this in with that, hydrate this, and then I will fast forward to whenever we get the rest of the ingredients. Not everything is here, so we'll get to that when we get to that, but let's go ahead and put this in. So we went ahead and added that. I'm going to put some water in it. We'll hydrate it, and then I'll fast forward to when we finish this up. Okay, so I completely forgot to film, but we've gotten a few more things for the enclosure. Obviously, we got some plants. We got another light. I'll explain why. We're going to have to do heating from a heat lamp instead of from a heat mat, obviously because there's soil in the bottom, so the heat won't make it all the way through. I'll explain how I'm going to do that. I have a pretty unique idea that I think is going to work well. We got some timers. I want this to be as like low maintenance as possible. So the 2 lights that I'm going to have for like actual lighting, not for heat, will be on timers. So they'll be on a certain amount of time of the day and then off the rest. We got some pothos, we got some ivy, and then we got this. I don't remember what it's called. I'll look at it later and tell you, but I think it's pretty cool. And these should all do on there. So 2 smaller ones, 2 bigger ones. We may add more later, we may not, but we'll see. Okay, so this was my ingenious heating system that I thought of, and I told you I was going to tell you about before. So we have a lamp right here, which has I'm not going to touch it because it's hot as balls. It has a ceramic heater in it. So this won't give off any light, obviously. The good thing about that is we can have it run at night. So to make sure it doesn't get too hot, because obviously heat lamps can get way too hot and we don't want to Edward to get burnt or any of that stuff. And also plants need a certain temperature as well, not just Edward. So we want to make sure that this stays in our right temperature range. So I actually plugged it into the same thing that the heat mat gets plugged into. It's back there. Anyway, if you know anything about heat mats, there's this little thermometer, and you set it to whatever temperature you want. And then there's a little probe, which is right here, that goes into your tank, or in case of a heat mat, you put it in between the heat mat and the bottom of the tank, and that monitors the temperature. So when that temperature gets to whatever the desired temperature is, it'll turn this thing off, and then once it gets below that again, it'll turn it back on. So that's all it's doing, is just regulating the temperature. I figured that was a kind of cool way to do it with a heat lamp. I guess it's not really a lamp because it's not getting off light, but you get what I mean. I thought that was a kind of clever way to overcome that. So this will be on top of the soil, actually. I'll find a way to make it so it's not visible, but it is right on the surface, because you obviously want the temperature that's right there on the surface to be the temperature that you're shooting for and that you're reading with the little probe. So that's how I'm going to do that. I've already routed it through there, because once soil is up to like here, wherever, it'd be hard to get it under here. This tank actually has little holes along the back, just really, really small ones. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's to route like cables for exactly this kind of thing. So that is how that is, and this will be his warm side, and then that will be his cool side, and we'll put a bunch of hides and obviously the plants which we bought and stuff like that in there. But I just want to update y'all on how exactly I did that. Okay, and it's a little bit harder to see because the lights aren't on, but we got the soil in there. I ended up actually using all of it, all of the topsoil and all of the moss and all that stuff. So there's a decent amount, as you can see, plenty to plant these plants that we have. It's a little bit thicker in the back than it is in the front. Next, we are going to plant these suckers. So I'll do a time lapse of planting these, and then we'll start putting Edward's stuff in there, and then we'll get him in there. Also, we have to remember that we have a few things still coming. We have the springtails, the leaf litter, and the isopods that aren't here yet. So there are a few more things coming. So this won't be completely done today. That stuff is coming after Christmas, so give it a couple days and we'll be there with that. But we're gonna at least get it set up as much as we can today. And there we are. That is all the plants in. I think they look pretty good. I like this little section in the back the most with the ivy kind of coming off that pothos. We're gonna go ahead and grab some of the stuff out of Edward's current tank and start sticking in there, and then we'll get Edward in as the last thing. Wow, I actually love it. Let me explain a couple things. So I put this hide on this side. The cool thing about having soil in there is you can bury stuff basically as deep as you want. So this hide is completely buried underneath except for the top little section and his little hole right there that he can get into, which is really cool. There's some soil inside of it too, just so it's not just plain like plastic or whatever it is. We got one of his logs right here in the middle. He can go in and out of. This one is buried, so the whole back end of that is buried. So that'll be a kind of like a medium warm hide, because It's not directly in the heat like this one is, but it's also not all the way in the cool. Then I repurposed one of the pots, which I think actually looks really cool, and made it into a little hide there. I took that inspiration from in the alligator farm. There's a king cobra enclosure, and they have a pot kind of like that, but obviously a lot bigger because it's king cobra, for them to use as a hide, and I think it's really cool. It looks kind of like it's just like a garden or something, and there's a pot that it fallen over or whatever. Then the pothos back there that he can also hide in, because as you can see, it's like really lush and full. And then the ivy, which is going to be really cool once the ivy starts growing. I hope it grows onto this log. That would be really cool. But there's going to be leaf litter in here too, so he can basically hide anywhere, and obviously he can burrow too. So he can hide almost anywhere in this entire enclosure. And then we got the water bowl on the cold side, obviously, so it doesn't evaporate super fast and make everything humid and all that kind of stuff. So this is the enclosure as it is. We're going to get Edward in just a second. I'm going to hide that little probe somehow, but I want it on the surface just for now, just till the temperature gets right, and I make sure it's working and all that stuff, and then we'll go from there. But let's go ahead and get Edward and chuck him in here. Okay, so we finally got the last piece to the puzzle. This is the isopods and the springtails. They didn't tell me that it was going to be held at the post office, so they've been there for like 2 days, so I'm hoping they're okay. Hopefully they're in good temperature, all that kind of stuff. We're going to do a little bit of an unboxing here, and let's pray that they're fine. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? See, we got Springtail Feast, sprinkle on Culture Weekly as needed. Some food for the little springtails. Once the thing is established, they won't need this anymore, but at first we'll add some of this until everything gets going. Also for isopods, so that's pretty cool. Now, for the moment of truth, let's open these guys up. They're live! Thank the Lord! Can you see them in there? How cool, they're orange. I knew that, but I guess y'all didn't. Very cool. Here, the isopods and the springtails should be in the other one. This is a little thing to keep it cool, and it's still kind of cool. It's not cold, but it's cool. The temperature in here feels good, though. It's like nice, not hot, not cold. Okay, springtails. Let's see. Yep, it's a lot harder to see these guys. Let me hold it still. You can probably see them moving around a little bit. Yep, there's one right there, kind of in the center. Pretty cool. These are just tiny, basically little microscopic guys. But thank God they're both working. And we have some charcoal. This is cool. So one of the things that they said you could add is this tropical white springtails, 8 ounces on charcoal. So one of the things they said you could add to the soil was charcoal, and I didn't do that. So I guess this will add a little bit of it. Not that it'll make that big of a difference in such a big enclosure, but pretty cool. And the isopods are so cool. I love them. We'll get one of these in my hand, and we can look at them. It's supposed to be 25 in here. No shot I'm counting, though. Okay, so we're going to let these guys out kind of right in here. Let's go ahead. Let's do the springtails first, just because they're a little bit less exciting. And I'm going to dump some right here, but we'll dump them all around just so they're not all starting in the exact same spot. But let's go ahead and open these guys up. Little springtails. You may be able to see them a little bit. But they're little, I guess that's why they're called springtails, because they kind of jump and hop and all that stuff. Let's get them all around here in different spots. There we go. There's not many left in like the last little bit of dirt, but we'll try to get it all out. Could be killing a few in doing this, but that's okay. There's so many of them. Okay, I think that's just about it. We'll mix this up in the dirt some. We don't want them just kind of sitting there on top. And there we go. There are the springtails in. Now, for the more exciting of the two, hopefully that was focused because I just had to refocus it right then. Now, for the isopods, they're more likely to fall out, so I don't want to open them until the last second. Look at them. They are so cool. Can I get one on me so we can get a close-up? Come here, buddy. There we go. Look at that. How cool. Y'all can't see him very well. There we go, in the sun. I can't even feel him. He's that light. Okay, get back in. Now let's pour these little dudes in there. They can all start here because they can move around faster. Oh, there's little like hydration balls in there. I'll have to get those out. But look, there they go. Look at them. How cool is that? So cool. This one is already eating, which is so cool. Look at that. I went ahead and put a little of their food in there. Oh, I'm so excited, you have no idea. And that is about it for Edward's new bioactive enclosure. We have some leaf litter coming, but it's taken so long to get here and it's not that exciting. So we're just gonna leave that out for now. Next time when I do the next video, I'll update this so y'all can see exactly what it looks like a little bit in the future. We're gonna get a little more soil in there as well in those back sections that I talked about before. So that's it. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have any tips for me, because this is my first bioactive, if you have any bioactive tips, I would love to hear it. Edward has been enjoying this so much so far. He's been here about a week now. He bros like crazy. He's much more active than he was before, and he's loving it. So hopefully I can get a little clip of him looking at some of these insects, and yeah, I'll throw that in if I do. If not, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell down below. I think I have an idea for the next video that involves Arnold's tank. Arnold is the name of the betta, actually. I named him Arnold, so welcome to the family, Arnold. But I have an idea for his tank as well, so that'll probably be the next video, which shouldn't be too long from now. But thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry we don't upload super often. I do stream, though, almost every single day over on Twitch. The link for that should be down below. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Have an amazing day. I hope you've had a great New Year, a great Christmas, all that good stuff. And have a good one. Bye, guys. Peace. So we finally got the leaf litter. And here it is. Just wanted to give y'all a little peek at that before the video ends. There you go.